welcome to the CBS Eye on Money show. It's Tuesday, February 15th. And Mark, how are you feeling today?
I am good. It is the weekend, the week after the Super Bowl, the day after Valentine's Day. So yeah, all good, all good. You?
I'm good. We're recording this before the results of the Super Bowl, so we're not going to talk about the Super Bowl. But let's hope it was a good game. Even though, Mark, you were such a buzzkill about the whole playoff season, which was like the best playoff season ever, and you weren't even that into it.
I just didn't get to watch much of it. I saw bits and pieces, but not like years past, that's for sure.
Can we get Theo involved in this? This is be a very good thing for him, no?
Eventually, yeah. He's the only thing he seems to really be into, and this is he's channeling his inner Asian self, is tennis.
Ah, very good. He likes tennis. Okay.
Yes.
I like that. That means that maybe you ought to be thinking about your trip to Wimbledon.
Trust me, you don't need to tell me. The wheels are in motion.
We're here to try to take the mystery out of your financial life. And the way that we do that is we answer your questions. Now, if you have a financial question, all you need to do is go to our website, jillonmoney.com. You click on the Contact Us button, and there's a form that will pop up. Ask your question there. At the bottom of the form, it says, would you be willing to come on the air with us? Just click yes or no, but do yes. It's so much better, Mark, when we have a caller live, right? Or a listener live, I should say, right? Isn't it better for everybody?
Oh, I mean, I think of this podcast. I think you and I have talked about this before. This is like kind of like talk radio to me. I mean, that's where I got my start in 1999, 2000 was in talk radio. So that's kind of how I approach this podcast. And it's always better when you have callers on the line.
So much better. Even though I find us quite entertaining, it's not nearly as entertaining as you guys. So today we are inviting Dee from Michigan on the air with us. Hello, Dee. How are you?
I'm doing great, Jill. How are you?
Good. Okay. So, Dee, you contacted us about a year and a half ago or so. You were on another show, also known as the Jill on Money podcast. What brings you to our airwaves today?
So today I had a question about rebalancing because over the last month, I wanted to, rebalance for the year, and the markets have been quite down. And I think I read somewhere that it's not great to rebalance during a downturn because you're locking in a loss. And I just was curious if that's true and if I should wait on rebalancing or what.
Tell us a little bit about yourself, Dee.
Okay, so I'm 23. I'm from Michigan, and I work in the automotive industry. I make $88,000 a year. I've got monthly expenses of $1,300 because I still live at home even a year and a half later.
Wow, that's awesome, though. That's such a low expense. Oh, fantastic.
It's wonderful.
Okay. Any plans to move out soon or?
It's coming up. I'm not sure where I would move right now because I'm not sure in the near future if my company will be moving me anywhere. So that's why I've been hesitant to sort of move out and buy a place. I know that renting's available, but renting for my mom is just so much cheaper.
And you like her?
Yeah, we get along. We love each other. So.
That's amazing. Yeah. That's so great. Yeah. So on your $88,000 a year, how much money are you putting into retirement?
I am maxing it out. So last year I did the full 19.5. This year I'm also planning to do the 25, just, to get my 401k all set. I'm also maxing out my Roth IRA every year. So that's $6,000. And then any extra I usually put in a low brokerage account.
Mark, this 23-year-old is rocking it, right?
It's thanks to you guys. I swear. I listen to you every single day on my drive home and drive to work. So.
Oh, that's so nice of you. So you've saving a bunch of money. Tell us other stuff. Like, do you have student loans or credit cards or auto loans or any? I hope not auto loans since you're in the automobile industry. Maybe you have maybe a beautiful discount on a car.
I do have a discount. So yeah, but I lease right now. So it's just, $275 a month. And then I get gas at work. They actually have a program where they fill your car up for you. So
Get out of here. This is awesome.
I know, my mom's so jealous of me. But yeah. So it's really low expenses as far as pretty much everything goes. Yeah, I've got $24,000 in student loans, and I've got $41,000 in a savings, high yield savings account that I just have on hand to pay that off as soon as interest gets turned back down.
Yep.
And that leaves me with $17,000 as personal savings, and then $2,000 in my checking. And do you want to hear about my other accounts?
Yeah, sure do.
Okay, so I've got $26,000 in my 401k. The majority of that's Roth. I've got 28,000 in my Roth IRA. I have 18,000 in a brokerage account. I think that's about it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So in your 401k, do you have an automatic rebalancing option?
I don't think so. It's through Fidelity. I'm not sure.
I would check that out because often they'll have it in 401k plans where you can check a box that so you don't have to overthink this. Let's say they don't. Mark, what's your opinion about when to rebalance and how often for D?
I would say once a year, twice most. Like me personally, I do it at the beginning of every year. Like we just had that little, I don't want, you want to call it correction, 10%, but it's not even that now. Even then, I probably wouldn't mess with it. I would just stick to your guns. Like if you say, okay, I'm going to rebalance on January 1 every year, I would just stick to that during times like this. Unless, if it was like during the height of the pandemic when it went crazy and it lost, a third of its value, then yeah, maybe in times like that, you want to think about making some changes. But for the typical 10% correction, I would just leave it be and stick to your guns.
How do you feel about that, D? Just thinking about like just doing it once a year, close your eyes and do it. How do you feel?
I'm totally okay with that. Yeah.
I am too. Also, like even if you did it and things were going crazy, it may not be the worst thing in the world. I mean, it's like, I personally, I just try to, put it on autopilot to take the emotion out of it. I really think that that's the best. That to me is the most important thing is that set it on autopilot, let it happen itself. How are you invested right now? Give us a little bit of your allocation breakdown.
I say it's because I'm 23 and I've got time, but it's like 100% stocks.
That's okay with that. You are doing a great job. In your retirement account, 100%. Maybe if you have like a brokerage account, I might have like a little bit of money say outside, but especially once you pay off your student loans and you have all this money that's in your high yield savings, right? Maybe I would just think about that the brokerage account would almost be like the account you would tap if you were thinking about buying something longer, in a few years or something. And then you would have to treat that money a little bit more carefully, right? A little bit more carefully. But I think that you're in such good shape and I wouldn't rush to buy a place. Mark, what do you think about buying versus renting right now and versus staying with mom?
First, probably stay with mom for a little while, but buying anything at 23 years old? No way. No way.
What do you think about
so
that?
Too many things are going to change in your life. You're only 23 years old. Who knows? In 5 years, you could be living in New York City. Who knows?
Would you like that? We'd love to have you.
Yeah, we can hang out.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, I think I agree. I wouldn't look, if you really are like, oh my God, I'm a lifer. I love where I live. This is like my place and I'm not going anywhere. I understand that. Like in a couple of years, if you kind of run into an opportunity where like, oh, my friend's parents want to sell their house and I have an opportunity, give us a holler back. But I feel the same way. Like if things are going well, you're 23, you get those loans paid off. I mean, you're going to want to live on your own because, God bless your mom. She's probably wonderful. But like, it's part of being launched as a human being. I would just be careful that you don't make a big decision that locks you into something longer term. That's why even though renting seems like, oh, I'm throwing my money out the window, still it's a good interim step before you take the plunge into buying because you figure out what you like and you don't like about being on your own. Fair enough?
Fair enough. I did have a follow-up question.
Do it.
I was wondering, do you think it'd be a good option for me to buy my mom's home from her?
Tell me about that more. Like, is mom single and
She is.
What's her financial situation?
She makes like $60,000 a year. She's like, she adopted me as a single mom. She's just been single her whole life. So it's just her. And she's looking at Social Security benefits, I think like 35 to 40K a year.
Mm-hmm.
And a pension from an old job she had for like $800 a month.
Mm-hmm.
She gets like 90% of her healthcare covered, I think, once she retires. So that's, it's huge. But I think she doesn't have too much in her retirement. I think in her 401k, she has like 200,000.
So she would have about, let's say 40 to 50, let's just call it 45 grand because she'll have, you said Social Security, let's call it 35 plus 10 grand from her old pension. So that's 45 grand a year. Does she have any debt?
There's some credit card debt in there. I don't think it's that crazy. I'd probably like 10 grand if I had to guess.
I think it depends. I don't think it's a bad idea. I think it's kind of cool that you're staying with your mom. And I think that this makes sense. Now, buying her home, I don't know if that makes sense. What I think is that we need to kind of monitor this. It's a possibility that if in a few years you're like, you know what, I love this place, I really do want to buy it. Let's see. Maybe when she's, how much longer do we think she's going to work?
She's trying to finish up within the next 3 years.
I mean, I think that's a good time horizon. Let's have her continue to pay it down and make her payments. Make sure that she does not take any money and pay down the mortgage, but she should be trying to pay down the credit card debt for sure. Okay. I mean, I think when she really, if it's 70 and she's got her Social Security, it's maxed out, and let's see how she's doing. Maybe it makes sense, but maybe it doesn't. Maybe you'd be better off helping her financially a little bit and waiting to see how things roll. I don't know. I really, again, that may be something that's worth considering for sure. I just don't know if I'm feeling like, oh, you should do this immediately. Let's see how it goes. It's a possibility. It's a kind of place where you could afford it. That's the other thing, right? Each of you keep doing what you're doing. Let's reassess in a couple of years and see what's going on.
So my company is now offering us like direct stock purchase options, and I read through it, and there doesn't seem to be any like advantage to it other than you'd be investing, I guess, more regularly, like right out of your paycheck. Do you think that's probably right?
Mark, you go.
What is this, like an employee stock purchase program?
Yes.
So you have like 15% discount?
It did not say anything about a discount. That's what I was hoping for, but I didn't see anything that said discount.
No, usually there's a discount.
It's usually a 15% discount.
That would be amazing.
Yeah. But Jill's going to say, keep it to basically 5 to 10% of your total portfolio.
Absolutely. 5% is what I would say. And then that's fine. I mean, that's totally fine with us. All right, Dee, thank you so much for joining us, and keep us posted on how things are going. If you've got a question about your financial condition, just give us a shout. Go to JillOnMoney.com. Click on the Contact Us button. It's in a little blue box. It's so pretty. And we'll get your note and let us know whether you want to come on the air with us. Don't forget, while you're on the website, sign up for the free weekly newsletter. It comes out every single Friday, and we love it. And Mark does all the work, which is why I really love it. You can follow this Eye on Money podcast wherever you find your favorite podcasts. And we always like to remind you that when you go to our website, there's a lot of stuff there, but you might want to follow our other podcast, also called Jill on Money. Mark Talercio, you've heard his voice. Hey, Mark. Hi. There you are. Mark is the co-host and the executive producer of this show. We are distributed by Viacom CBS. We drop our episodes every Tuesday and Thursday. Try to lift someone up today. Curiosity, compassion, community. We'll talk to you on Thursday.